Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're the Bradleys. What's up? So today we're talking about how to help you avoid travel mistakes, save money, save on stress with an emphasis on research, travel research. Maybe you're just curious about leaving America and moving abroad. Maybe it's a mission of yours that you need to meet in the next 2 years or whatever. Regardless, this video is for you to help you avoid costly mistakes to your bank account and to your mental, okay? So we got some problems that you're likely facing. We face them. We're gonna list 4 of them here, okay? One is, your problem is that you need to move from a homestead mentality to a more nomadic mentality. That's been a challenge for you. Dad, what's the second one?
You need to move from someone taking care of you to you taking care of you.
Mom, what's the third one?
You don't know everything. Learn to ask for help.
And Daniel?
You're negative minded. You need to be more positive minded.
Yes, we're here to talk about research, but a lot of it always starts with mental, a healthy mindset.
Okay, so here's what happened. We went from debt to financial freedom. We're hoping to move to tax-free Houston, Texas, live it up. Bam! Then the economy fails. We moved abroad and bought multiple properties, living good.
Yes, this was back in maybe 2021 or so, just before we knew we wanted to leave the country. Well, no, not before we knew. We knew we initially weren't just immediately gonna leave the country. We were gonna kind of go step by step, but we adjusted when the economy tanked, and we're doing just fine, like Dad said. You have to learn to transfer your consumer research skills into travel research skills. Daniel, did you have anything more you wanted to say about that?
Yes, we're all very tech savvy and knowing where to get this and that for each person. We know to get on Amazon, we know to get on Google, we know all the websites to go to buy the things that we want to consume, that we want to get, what DVD. There's so many. We need to learn how to transfer that to research skills. You can do it in the form of research.
That's really good. That reminds me of the algorithm. I always talk about it. If you're looking for Beyonce tickets, if you're looking for a new Mac computer, whatever, when you put those things in the algorithm in Google and YouTube, you start seeing them everywhere. You're looking for a new watch. Dad was looking for a new watch. Mom's looking for new hair products. The internet starts to help you. So we want to remind you, all of you who are curious, or again, maybe you're more than curious and you're on a mission, the internet will help you if you're looking for places in Africa, places anywhere. Stop assuming Black people aren't in whatever country. Family, we've heard about that a lot, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so some people think maybe they don't like us in Africa, or that you can't go someplace in Spain or anything like that. Have you had any other opinions about where Black people are around the world?
Well, while they're thinking about that, one thing I would say is we're telling ourselves stories.
I like
And there's
that.
stories in our own minds. Stop telling yourself stories that you don't have any facts about. And a lot of times they say 90% of what you think is going to happen negatively, because that's how we think, it ain't gonna happen, and it doesn't happen.
Yes, I was going to say behind that also that people don't realize, or they're not thinking, that years ago you have poets and movie stars and people, Black people, that moved to Europe and other places because they couldn't seem to get work in the States or where they live. So this is not like a new thing. Black people are all over the place. So.
Yes, there's Black people in Japan, on the other side of the world. There's Black people in so many different countries.
Yeah.
If we take that that mindset that, well, just because I ain't heard or seen it, then it ain't that, then that's where you'll be, versus if you change to using the options that are available to you, like the Google, like ChatGPT, like different things like that. The same tools just I was talking about will be used to like purchase things or go, like we can apply that learning attitude instead.
Right. That even reminds me, isn't Stevie Wonder in Ghana right now? A lot of us, he's a great, but he didn't let things like blindness or being American all his life or things stop him. And a lot of us are doing better than him in that respect. But he has an adventurous spirit and he's doing just fine. I think, rest in peace, Tina Turner, I think lived out of the country for many, many years. Binge our videos. We've done videos. In fact, I think Dad did one in particular listing off maybe 8 to 12 different people. They all happen to be Black throughout the decades. Because, it's on the internet, so it's really hot right now. But the cool thing is, like y'all are saying, this has been going on for a really long time, and it's going to keep going on. We went from expecting someone to hold our hand to learning we must do it ourselves. And we did, and you can too. Dad, you always got a lot of opinions about that.
Yeah, I think what we need to realize is, I'm going to say it this way, there won't be a savior per se. It actually starts within yourself. They talk about leadership, and they say that leadership begins with you first, meaning lead yourself first before you can lead others. And so when it comes to expecting someone to come and do something for you, there's, this mindset then that you're yielding to where you're giving up your power and you're allowing somebody else to do it for you. And you don't get to learn from missteps and challenges and mistakes, which could serve you months and years down the line. So you want to be able to understand what it's like to make a misstep. You also want to know the joy, the glory of having figured something out for yourself right. But it's the old adage, if I give you a fish, you will eat for one day. But if I teach you how to fish, you will eat for a lifetime.
How come that's hard for people to do, to take the reins of what they want to do when it comes to moving abroad?
I think they're so comfortable where we live in the States. Everything is so prepackaged and handed for us. It's a melting pot. So you got all these different nationalities. You think you've seen everything, or you've lived the life that there is or only is. And it can be kind of scary sometimes. But everything we do first, it's new. So
good point.
We can do this, and then we can learn from those things that listed. So that way we're not reacting all the time. We're responding maturely to the experiences.
I know one example that helped us, like a conversion, was Mom, you homeschooled us. If you're new, Daniel and I and our brothers were homeschooled by my mom. That's like that's do it yourself, DIY. Mom, why did you think you could do that? And does that translate to people wanting to move abroad and do it themselves?
I guess because I wanted something different. Each of you guys, having 4 sons, are unique. You have different experiences, different way you learn. And I wanted to be able to hone in on that and allow you to be you, not put you in a little box or something and let you be yourself, be who you are. And the creativity came out, and there's just so much out there, and you have a lot to give, and so you gave that. And so knowing that you can do those things and be creative and step out of yourself, that was really good to be able to have you be who you really are and be just be flexible in a lot of different areas.
Awesome.
I got a question for you two guys. Since 2 of the 4 who were homeschooled are here right now, how did it feel for you to not have a bell going off and telling you to do this and do that? What was it like, the fact that you had to take ownership of things yourself?
It was kind of, well, for me, it was kind of refreshing, believe it or not, because it was my mother who was teaching me. I felt like, like you already asked her all the questions about X, this, that, and the third. Now you have access to this person who's right in your house, who you know loves you. They're not some outside person. You have that relationship, and it felt good. At the same time, it also kind of put a foot in my behind mentally and emotionally in terms of like, okay, I need to get this done because when the clock strikes whatever time for school to be done, like I'm going from one room to the next, and the teacher is still my mother. She's gonna be expecting me to do X. Like, she can see if I did the homework or not. So that's how I felt.
For me, it was stages, and I was a bit of a late bloomer in that respect. And again, this is about doing it yourself and applying it to moving abroad. I didn't take it seriously when I was much younger, maybe 10 years old, preteen. I guess what kid does, whether you're homeschooled or public school. But then when we started outsourcing, which one can do in the homeschooling industry, I began to see with Spanish class, with AP biology, and other things I was doing. It's like, oh, these people aren't my mom. So maybe I didn't take it seriously, but that didn't mean you didn't put the scheduling and the responsibility, the discipline in us. So when we were with Senora Cade for Spanish class or whatever, then going even into university with long syllabi, long syllabus, finally it got me where I'm like, oh, my parents aren't here. Oh, I've also matured, because you will experience that. We experienced it too. Moving abroad can be overwhelming and daunting, but something eventually clicked in me where I was like, okay, I'm not at home anymore. I'm not in the little wombs that I'm familiar with in certain classes. Now I was gradually going out into the world, from our living room to Spanish class at the community center or the church, to then my community college or my university. I gradually got pushed out, and I guess researching a topic like moving abroad in different stages will happen for you as well. I'm glad I got it.
That's pretty cool how, before you take us to the next point,
Sure.
how you took transferable skills. By that, what I mean is leadership is a transferable skill. You need to have leadership skills as an astronaut or as a women's soccer coach. So it's just leadership. And you saying that it's a transferable skill, the independence is needed, it's required if you're moving abroad. As a last point, there were also some really exciting things you did that I never got to experience, you guys, and that was you were doing horseback riding, equestrian events. You were also doing fencing, so you're doing the sword thing. And I remember you getting all the gear. I remember Daniel, he's doing model rocketry and launching models. And
That's right.
There we go.
Culinary class as well.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball.
Play on the basketball team.
Yeah. So those things, you're right. It's you just have to start. Like back to Daniel's point about Google research, maybe Chat GPT, or whatever works for you. There are little things that get you going. Uniqueness is important. Your uniqueness, our uniqueness was important to launch us out, because our process might look a little bit different than yours. That's why you have to research, because everyone's situation is unique. You weren't homeschooled like we were. That didn't affect moving abroad, but it still impacted us in a way, and you have uniqueness. You have some examples like you might be married when you move. You might be single. You might have young children. You might have adult children. You might be retired. So the uniqueness is super important, and it's family. Is it important for people to own the uniqueness in their research process in any way?
Absolutely, because it's going to impact your location wherever you decide to land, and your research. Definitely, it's going to be totally different from a single parent versus someone who's married or single.
Right.
That was an area that I really cued in on, because Mark and I are retired, and so I'm coming at a different way where, okay, I'm not necessarily I'm not looking for a job. Maybe what I'm looking for, where I'm going to live, is going to be a little more relaxed and low-keyed, and I'm going to just settle and do the things I want to do. I'm not on some type of time schedule, things like that. So I came at it, in our own way of, because we're retired, it's relaxed. I don't have to do this, that, or the other, and it was just a different mindset of how to move and how the state was going to be.
I think that preferences is the word that comes to my mind. Preferences in the sense that we each have unique ones, and they're going to determine what you're looking for. So a lot of people might be married, a lot of people might be single. There's a lot of single women I have noticed as expats, in places where we have lived. But the reason why you need to own it for yourself is because no one can do or communicate or feel the level of intensity that you have for the preferences that you have.
Right, because you have different deal breakers that we have here. Someone else wants something that maybe you don't, or you're trying to balance what if, say, you're in a family, maybe you're trying to balance, you know, Dad, you really like the tropical atmosphere.
Yeah.
You need that to thrive even more abroad or something like that. We want it to be near the ocean, but you might want mountains. You might want to consider that your USD goes farther everywhere else. Language comes into play. Like, do you want to be around a lot of English, which might mean a lot more expats, or not, but the locals might speak it? Schools for your children, again, if you're moving with a large family or young children or something like that. Again, Mom, you were talking about, I believe, beaches and things where you're like, you want to be around a certain environment, beaches, local markets, maybe sporting, maybe you want sports to be important. And it's important to own that that's what you want, so is that you can, what is it, Dad? The Venn diagram, you can find some overlap.
Yes.
Of like, what does one country offer versus what you like, and then see where you can meet in the middle. You know, that's super important.
Yeah, it's like for someone like me who's single and a nomadic, like working digitally online, I would consider maybe more infrastructural places like Nairobi, a city where I need like consistent internet or something like that, versus it might not be on Mom's mind because she's retired. Maybe she wants to go to that tropical beach or something. So there's a lot to consider.
Or you might be thinking about, as you pointed out to us, Starlink going to certain countries or being available, or whatever speed internet thing.
Right,
Yeah.
being abreast of the updates that might be coming to the places that you're interested in. Like, I think we heard, fact check this for yourself, maybe 5 years ago, there might have only been 5 digital nomad visas where you can work remote, either with a company or with your own as an entrepreneur, and the country welcomes you to do business, but you're doing business outside, and you can get a kind of residency for this. Maybe 5 years ago, there were only 5 of these digital nomad visas. Today, as of this video, there might be between 20 and 30. And so you might be wanting to look for what's coming down the path for certain countries that attracts you to living there. We also polled expats, a lot of them, and 90% of them moved multiple times. That comes up a lot. We talked about one problem you may have is the homestead mentality, wanting to stay one place permanent
Forever.
and not thinking you might adventure around for any given reason. We know folks, Dad, you were talking about single women. We know some, we met them living abroad, they were single. As of today, they ain't single no more.
Right.
So
And they're living different places or
Right.
going
there
different
you
places.
go. So that could
Yeah.
affect that nomadic attitude. You might pick up and go where your new spouse lives.
So the odds are that you are going to be in a different location than you originally
Right.
chose. So you might as well learn how to research effectively and efficiently
Yes.
yourself.
Recognize your location values. Was that it, Dan? Do you have more to say about that?
Yeah, you want to own those values. What's really important to you? Like if you need a place that has more medical assistance to whatever you're
Good point.
dealing with in your
Yeah.
life, you want to focus that and own that and prioritize that on your list. Versus maybe someone who's not that on their list, and maybe they like to party more, or they like gatherings and different things like that. They will focus on those.
Yeah, because we lived abroad. Well, yes, we do live abroad, but we lived all over, family. If you're new here, we started off in the DMV.
And actually, I moved from
Go ahead.
the Midwest, from like Peoria, Illinois, to Silver Spring, Washington, D.C. area. Now
Exactly.
take it over.
Now, and Mom grew up, Grandpa was in the Air Force.
Yes, in the Air Force. So I've been to Germany, England, Indiana, California, before we moved to where the next place, Josiah?
Yep,
California.
we then moved to
DMV.
California. I got to experience the Hollywood scene because I wanted to work in Hollywood. Dad had always had a dream, I guess, from college to now, or to that point, wanted to live in tropical Los Angeles. And we got to do that for 3 years. Then when we finally hopped on that plane to live abroad full time, first place we went to was Rwanda. Spent 9 months there, enjoyed that time, then took an investment opportunity here in Zanzibar. Who knows where we might end up next? So we're living it for you in addition to our expat neighbors that we told you we polled. People are moving around for different reasons. Marriage, investment opportunities, different type of environment. There's all types of things, and there's nothing wrong with you doing that. You don't have to, I guess, kind of nail yourself down with any ideology that, well, I need to just leave America and only go one place. Because why? You can go wherever you want to go for any reason. I think there's this term Dad and I were talking about on a recent video, slow travel. People aren't getting, you're leaving America to get off the rat race, but some people are kind of hopping, you're getting off the rat race and the hamster wheel to get on a jet engine, but you never land. It's like it's a new kind of hustle and bustle. You don't have to do that. You can slow travel around the world by plane, by train, wherever you want to go, and just check out places for months at a time, years at a time, because we're remembering the world is beautiful and has a lot to offer.
You have options.
Many options.
Yes.
The world is your oyster. So you can also utilize different forms of research. Mom, what are some of the ways?
Or there's friends. You know, a lot of people have friends that, and we just don't think about it. You have friends, and they may not have always lived where you live. They could have come from another country. They could have come from another state. So you have friends that you can talk to, you know, about how they did things. You have online workshops, which we have been able to be part of different workshops and things to do. So you have online workshops that can really, really help you to know where to begin, open up to you things that you've never even thought about.
Exactly. You also have travel books. Of course, the library still exists. You can still have world atlases and things on culture, language. There's courses. There's online courses for travel strategies, for learning language again, for different places you want to go. There's scouting trips, like we were saying about the slow travel. You can go somewhere for a month, 2 months, just to see what it's like. Maybe you want to do business. Maybe you're interested in your children, studying abroad, things like that. You can pinpoint the exact priorities that you have and then travel according to your priorities.
I think one of the things is networking. That's what comes to my mind. And networking has such a negative connotation in some people's minds. I know it used to in mine. But it's really how you can get things done. We're talking about moving abroad, but I think about how your mother and I were going to do a scouting trip, which is one of the things that people can do. And this scouting trip was to Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
And while we were transferring planes somewhere like in Texas or Atlanta, I think it was. Anyway, we were standing in the Southwest line before you get to board. And we met a guy simply because I was challenging myself to say hello, and he had a nice pair of slacks that zipped at the knees. You could just disconnect them. I thought, oh, that's nice. And so he started talking to me.
Right.
Turned out that he was from or has interacted in the DMV area. He ended up talking with us all the way up the ramp, and then so we sat behind each other or in front, whatever, on the plane. So then he gives us a name of somebody to contact who is a real estate agent out in California, who then ends up giving you the name of a lady who you connected with, and you made a friend there in Los Angeles. It's just amazing how you can network.
You're just making friends. Because I remember, we're pretty introverted. I'm probably the most introverted in the family, for all I know. And I used to be really scared about going to job fairs in university or in school and things like that. Y'all did that. and maybe my card wasn't laminated enough or something. Some of y'all remember that funny scene in American Psycho about the about the business cards, right? And I thought that's all networking was. That's why I'm bringing it up. But when I went to university, I joined a film club for a while and was doing my projects. And I remember somebody around a graduation said, Josiah, you're doing networking just fine because you're just making friends. It's not about, you don't even have to have a business card. You don't have to be throwing your resume in people's faces every 5 minutes. You're connecting over your favorite movies. You're connecting over, like we have also living abroad. Oh, do you live in the DMV? Oh, did you go to university such and such? You're just being regular, and I guess the word networking really scares us and kind of distracts us from the heart of the matter, which is you're interested in investment. You're interested in learning new languages, trying new food, having low stress out in the nature of living abroad and things, and you connect with people. And so that's what you and Mom did about LA. I think maybe that's how we, somewhere along those lines, how we got the house in Virginia Beach for time or something like that.
That is true. Yes.
We just met people, and some things worked out, some didn't. But that's a great tool for moving abroad. That's how we got to Rwanda. We really talked to our family friends who already lived there. They quizzed us to make sure, okay, are you sure you want to deal with certain things in Rwanda that you're not used to? We're like, that's not a problem. They're like, okay, you might look forward to this in that location. We're like, sign us up. And so we spent some time there. And so that's how networking worked for us.
I just had a thought come to me right now, and that is networking is simply similar things finding each other through people's mouths.
Yeah, you're just lines of commonality. It really just sounds like friendship. I think C.S. Lewis said friendship is two friends hand in hand down the same path toward the same goal or the same thing of interest.
Yes.
Could be a little thing, could be something grandiose, but you're connected by that thing. And so resources and gems, things that can help you, some things that have helped us. This is mainly the internet, in addition to what we just said about networking. There's Google research. Some of you found us by Googling and this video popped up. Or you were on YouTube and we popped up. You were maybe using ChatGPT because it's more customizable Google search, relying on the Google research. There's publications like Travel Noir, which happens to feature travel destinations and tips geared toward equipping Black folk. Anybody can use it, but they had our community in mind for safety, for education, etc. There's publications like Travel and Leisure, which does all of those things and more, and I think sometimes emphasizes retirees, I think emphasis on the leisure part. So those are just some gems and some resources that helped us. They had archives and things, and we would just bookmark them and refresh them with all the areas that we were most interested in. And then there's workshops. We talked about workshops, and that brings us to our invitation to you, to the Move Abroad in 3 Easy Steps virtual workshop that we're hosting January 26th, the weekend of January 26th, where we'll be together for a virtual expat Move Out of America workshop, where you'll get all 4 of us. You'll get to ask us questions that we didn't get into here in this video about our travel experience, both abroad in general and here in Africa, the places that we've been. Some of the things you get access to are a simplified visa procedure process. You'll learn how we learn that. You'll learn with us hassle-free ways to meet visa and entry requirements. That's very important because it can be very, very daunting. And we have some stories about getting our visa requirements for Rwanda, for Zanzibar. You'll find user-friendly and quick ways to gain insights into life in a new location. So again, you'll hear our stories. You'll get tools with us right there on camera. This will be done via Zoom, and we'll go through more things like that. You're also automatically enrolled in our upcoming online course. This is for a limited time between now and January 26th. If there are more updates, we'll give them to you. But for a limited time between now and January 26th, when you buy your seat, tickets are $97. When you buy your seat for the Move Abroad 3 Easy Steps virtual workshop, you are automatically enrolled into our e-course. We'll give you the title later. What you get from that is you become a part of a community of like-minded people just like you, who are, again, either just curious or it's a mission to get y'all out of here and out of America. In the next few years, wherever you fall on that spectrum, you'll be in a safe space with like-minded people like that who are travelers. You'll have a organized and detailed travel topics in the e-course. You'll have access to constantly updated travel information because things are changing all the time about currency, about visa entry, etc., health matters. And you get pre-made task lists so that you don't have to create any yourself if you don't want to. We're going to give you what we've already made.
Yes.
Things that tested us when we moved abroad, we're going to give them to you. Isn't that exciting, family?
That is really exciting.
Yeah.
So you're getting the workshop with us
All four
and
of us.
other participants. That's right, four of us.
Yeah.
And you're getting the online course that is available to you at your fingertips throughout time.
Yeah. Constantly updated again, because we believe in, do it the best way that you can, but it's helpful when you link up arm in arm with people who are a little bit ahead of you. And we don't have all the answers, but we have our answers and we want to share them with you. And so part of the value of having this organized, incubated space is, again, the community that you'll get to enjoy, because you'll have people who maybe they haven't moved abroad, so you're going to ask a lot of rich questions. But then you'll also encounter people who they've lived abroad for work or for school. They're just adventurous that way, and now maybe they want to make it more permanent. You guys are welcome as well, and so you can connect together and we can all be talking about this thing. So like Dad said, this is a bundle deal.
Last time, it is the AWM workshop, and it is offered on January 26th. It's going to be around 12 p.m. Okay, it's virtual, so it'll be a Zoom call. You're going to get access to simplified visa processes, hassle-free way to meet visa or entry requirements. You're going to learn how to find user-friendly and quick ways to gain insights into life in your new location, and you're automatically enrolled into the e-course.
Yes.
And the e-course is going to just continue to be available for you. It's a bundled deal, but it's a limited offer. You've got to register now.
Yes. So these were ways to demystify traveling abroad. We want you to make as few mistakes, because you're going to make them. So this was starter research for you. We're glad that you watched this video. Let us know in the comments whether you're interested in living abroad in 2025, or how soon you want to move abroad. And even let us know, do you know where you want to go? If you don't, that's okay. That's one more reason you're invited to our workshop, January 26th. With that, family, we'll see y'all on the next video. Peace out.
See you there.
See you there.